Are we live?
Hi.
Yay! William, we gotta get it on here so that we can talk to the... Okay, it's coming. It's coming. I see. I'm supposed to be hiding my nails as well. Y'all don't look at my nails. What's up, people? Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. Welcome to your reality check. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Hope everybody's having a great week, great start to their week. How's your week going?
Going great. How's yours?
It's good. But I also feel like this week has been, my days have been going by so fast, but the week has been
Slow.
So slow. It's taking so long to get to Friday. And I need Friday to get here because I'm just anxious for this weekend. I'm telling you. Shout out to all the June birthdays. Almost all of my friends were born in
Gemini
June
baby.
for whatever reason. Whatever reason that is. Look at us.
Oh, we gotta look at the camera.
I get caught up. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Today we are talking about misunderstood and misconstrued. Embracing... No, that's not right. That was last week. We're talking about being a female in a male-dominant community. A male-dominant community. I have my beautiful guest here, Miss Rym.
Hi.
What's up to her? First of all, we have to give you the proper introduction. Rym is the founder of this
founder.
dope.
Ooh.
Yes.
I like the sound of that.
Concept, Breakfast and Beats. Tell the people about Breakfast and Beats, Remy.
Okay, I don't even know where to start because I never know how to introduce Breakfast and Beats. But I guess it started with me and my close friend. We were just on the phone one morning and he was making breakfast and I was sharing some music with him and then we were just like...
First of all, we have to give you the proper
we
introduction.
were just like, Breakfast and Beats sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And then from there, we kind of thought Breakfast and Beats would be like a cool platform to give artists like a voice to speak about the things they go through, the trials and tribulations.
Yes.
And just kind of document that. So.
Ooh, I love that. I definitely love that. And on June 29th,
Yes.
you have an awesome event that is going to be... Now, don't get it mixed up or misconstrued, guys. This is the platform because there's so much more that is coming to Breakfast and Beats. But on June 29th, please make sure that you get your tickets. We will definitely be posting the link on for Eventbrite for you to get your tickets on June 29th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. There will be Breakfast and Beats. We have 3 awesome panelists that will be discussing their creative aspects of their brands. Also, even failures that they've had, even successes that they had. And of course, we will have it catered by the amazing Janae Ashley. So shout out to her. Make sure you guys come buy your tickets. They're only $15. And that's June 29th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And it's going to be at Art and Love.
Yes.
Which is a dope place in downtown Akron.
Across from the Civic Theater.
Yes. So let's hop right into it. Have you ever... This topic is so funny because I feel like it constantly... Even though we're in such a progressive time, 2019, and we like to think that we're accepting of everybody, I feel like... Even still in this day and age, we can still be like discriminated against as women. Have you ever gone through like a situation in which you felt like in a room full of men, you knew what you were talking about, or you knew the answer to that thing, but like you kind of like downplayed?
Oh, yeah, like all the time. I feel like it's always a thing, like if you're a female in the group, they're like, what do you know about that?
Yeah.
Like, what do you know about this music? I don't know. It's just annoying.
It is so annoying. And I've been in situations where, like, I feel like I even tested it. Like, I was in a room full of guys, and I would throw out an idea, and they'd be like, okay, that's cool. And another guy would say the exact same thing, and they'd be like, oh, yeah, that's dope. And you're like, really?
Said that, yeah.
I literally just said that thing, that same thing. He might have used different words, but I literally just said that exact same thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane to me. Why do you think that is?
I don't even know, because I still try to, like, figure that out. But I feel like there's not that many women around who are, like, confident enough to have, like, a voice and, like, stand their ground and things. So maybe that's why, I don't know.
And shout out to those who are, because it is, it's like, it's still, like I said, even though we are in this new age and we're so accepting of so many different types of people, it is really tough to be taken seriously. One celebrity that I think of often who is just just genuinely strong, but she's so beautiful, is Serena Williams. Like, she, you know what I mean? Like, if she were to say something on a court, then she's aggressive, or she's, you know what I mean? She would never be taken as, like, a boss, or she's doing her thing, or whatever. Like, whereas if a guy were to go on the court and cuss and yell and scream, oh, he's passionate. He's just being passionate. She's completely different.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of things are downplayed to just, like, the appearance of a woman. Like, versus, like, her skill set.
Absolutely.
Mostly, like, oh, like, she looks this way, so we're gonna, like, focus on that.
We're gonna treat her that way. And then that goes to also, it's just kind of like, I feel like with women, sex is always associated with women. You know what I mean? And, like, sex is, like, intimate and nurturing and soft and sweet. And so it's just like, but then when it's something that's completely different and you get us, like, in that business realm where it's like, no, I actually know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, well, don't talk to her, because, you know, if you talk to her, then you know. You know, it's like, it's just completely, you're not taken as seriously as you should be taken, like, I feel, with a man. You know? Yeah,
I don't understand that.
There was this one time I was working, I'm trying to think, I think I was working in hotels, and I was a manager at the time, and I remember there was a guest that came to check in, and he was extremely upset with me, and he's like, but he's been staying there he'd constantly been staying there, right? So this is his new time to check in, and he checks in with me, and he's extremely upset. He's like, I want to talk to the manager, and I'm like, I am the manager, and he looks at me, and he's like, really? And, like, my first instinct was to be like, is he saying this because he's a white guy? I was like, is he saying this because I'm black? Well, then my assistant manager, mind you, I was a general manager at the time. My assistant manager comes out, and he's like, that's exactly who he wanted to speak to. He's black as well. So I was like, it had to be because of the fact that he was a man. He's like, no, that's the one I want to talk to. That's who I want to talk to. Yeah. And I'm like, he's like, and he, like, argued me up and down, saying, like, that I was not a manager. And I just, like, different things like that, like, you constantly think about. There are times that I even feel like, do you think that, like, you kind of change your wording, even, like, when you're, like, around men? To an extent?
To an extent, yeah. I think so. I think I kind of, like, censor myself a little bit. Just to seem... Because sometimes I feel like I try to be a little bit more quiet. Yeah. Like, in a group full of men. I don't know if you ever do that. Yeah. I do. And, like, sometimes, like, even now, I think that what's the word? A thing that I try to do is, like, I guess, like, I kind of protect myself is, like, I will, like you said, you kind of, like, get, like, a little quiet, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm still here too. You know what I mean? That's something you can't do that.
Yeah, but then I get, like even louder, and then it's, like, almost obnoxious. Like, okay, you don't even need to do this, and it's almost outside of myself, even to kind of do that. It's just insane. So I want to talk about, how did you get the confidence to ultimately come out and let the world see Breakfast and Beats?
Oh my, that's still something I'm, like, working on, like, really working on. Because I still get, like, nervous about putting things out. And I don't even, like, think of it as a thing, like, I'm a woman. But it's just, like, being a creative and, like, being vulnerable is, like, a hard thing to do. And just, like, putting something so personal that you've had, like, to yourself for so long, and then showing people. And,
showing
like,
it to the world.
Yeah, and, like, getting nervous and being like, oh my God, I hope, like, people like it. Yeah. But then that shouldn't even matter if people like it.
I think that's one of those things that's, like, so much easier said than done, because people say all the time, well, don't worry about what anybody else thinks. This is your thing. This is your goal. But in the back of your mind, you still know that you have that target audience and those people that you want to reach, right? So it's like, oh, are they even going to like it? Are they going to want to do it? But I feel like a part of you, one thing that I always think about, this is going to sound so morbid, but I always think about, I'm like, ooh, when I'm, like, 85 or 90 or whatever, like, on my deathbed, I don't want to look back, or I don't want to think back on this thing, in your case, like the Breakfast and Beats, and be like, oh, I should have done that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Because that's the thing, is I kept, like, putting it off for so long, and then everyone was like, why aren't you doing that yet? Like, why aren't you doing that yet? And then, like, even you were like, you have
to do this thing. And that's the thing, like, I love to see when people tell me something and they say that they are passionate, I try to, when I see that fire in them, because that's what I saw in you when you were talking about Breakfast and Beats, even though you gave me, like, a simple explanation, I saw how passionate you were about it, and I was like, oh my God, like, we have to get this done, like, because I just can envision how many people it can touch, how many other people it can empower and inspire, You know what I mean? Like, how do you know you don't have somebody come in that's a new up-and-coming producer that wants to make beats? You know what I mean? Like, now they have that exposure and it carries on and carries forth, and now they're able to work with different people that they've wanted to work with. So I think that a lot of times with creative projects, we have to think about the fact that it is beyond us. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you just gotta like put it out, and then whatever happens.
Yes.
Like, that's it.
Absolutely. Let's check in. Let's see. How are we doing out there? Peeps. Look at us. It's catching
I'm
up.
blind.
Are you blind right now?
Yeah.
How are we doing, William? Do we have any comments? Any people listening? Cal! What's up, Cal?
Hi, Cal.
Don't censor yourself.
What did he say?
Yeah.
Oh.
You had some choice words. Yes, do not censor yourself. But Cal, how did you gain the confidence to come out and not censor yourself?
Good person to ask.
You know, how did you decide to come out with? Because first of all, Kel is one half of Neon Vice, and they are so dope. We love you. Cannot wait for that interview to drop. I saw the little clip today. So excited for you guys. How did you find the way to not censor yourself? That's what I want to know. And it might be a little bit easier for you to give us the answer because you are a man. I hate to say it like that, but you are. And it's a little bit easier for you guys to almost get the encouragement that you need rather than women, because like a lot of times women aren't. I feel like a lot of times women will be supported, but to an extent. You know what I mean? Like then it's like, oh, she's trying to be just like so and so, or she like an example.
That is.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's like either we can't be around a group of men or we can't be around a group of women, because as soon as we're around a group of women, then we're pitted up against each other. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like especially in like rap right now. I
Oh,
feel like
yeah.
if there's like a female rapper, like she has to get compared to every other female rapper.
And why?
Mm-hmm.
Why? It's not fair at all. And the thing is like there's so many men out here rapping.
But none of them ever get like, oh, he sounds like this and this.
Right.
So and so.
Because there's room for everybody. But yet, when a female starts to rap, then she's trying to be just like Nicki Minaj, or she's trying to be just like Cardi B, or she's trying to be like Meg Thee Stallion. You know what I mean? It's just like so much stuff that it's just like, it's overwhelming, and I can see how somebody would get discouraged. You know?
Exactly. And they all have like different things about them that makes them like unique.
Yeah.
So it's just
absolutely, and that's the thing, like because you can like one and not like the other, or vice versa. Oh, it's insane. It is just completely insane. What is some advice that you would give creatives that want to kind of start on like a breakfast and beats type thing, or even if it's not breakfast and beats, just something that they feel like is their calling that they might not have gained the confidence to do? What do you think that they should? How should they?
I think number one thing is don't overthink anything.
Oh yeah.
I feel like you just gotta like put it out there. Like don't even think about the audience you're putting it out there for. Just be like, this is my art. I want to show it to the world. Like don't think about anybody being like, oh, I don't like it, or oh, I like it, because it's gonna at least resonate with one person.
Yes.
And like art is just like there's so many ways you can interpret it that there's no like right or wrong answer.
Absolutely.
To what you put out there.
Oh my gosh. And I feel like a good place to start with that is like, you've been to plenty of museums. I know. Like, have you ever gone to a museum? I saw one exhibit, and no lie, on the wall, it was like the wall white. And it was one blue stripe going down the middle of the wall.
Really?
Yes.
See,
And I'm like, but you can't take that away from them. That is their art. And like, that's the thing. Like, just like you said, nobody can take that away from you. Nobody can interpret your art. It's yours for you. And I feel like anytime like I get discouraged or anything like that, I just like look up a bunch of random art, like abstract, the most abstract pieces. Like, because like to me, I'm like, this person literally put some strokes on this canvas, but to them it's a whole story.
Exactly.
And they made that for their audience. They didn't make that for me. They made that for the person that can read it and can interpret it and feel the feelings that they felt when they were making it. So that is so real. I would also say, as a woman, I think that it is so important to find other women and have them in your corner. It's great to have friends and people of the opposite sex like in your corner, but it's so important, I feel like, to have people like women, and guys even need that too, you know what I mean, like that are with you, like to know like, okay, we're going through this struggle together, and not even necessarily a struggle, but we're going through these motions together. I've been there, you know what I mean, like, or you've been there and you can tell me how to get through it. So I think that it's extremely important to be able to get through through those things together. And I think that's something that these days we really do have to focus on, especially because there's just so much craziness that's going on in the world today that can get us off task, you know?
Judgment. That's another thing is trying to steer away from the judgment in art.
Yeah, it's so crazy too, because it's like, as liberal as we are, it's like we're so liberal and we make these steps forward, and then it's like, but we find something else to pick at. We find something else to get, you know what I mean? Like to think about or to nag at. And then it almost makes me think like it'll never be enough. There's always going to be something that somebody
That's why you can't like think about it too much.
Yeah.
Just gotta put it out there and just
and go with it. And then you said something there too when you talked about overthinking it. I was talking to one of my friends over the weekend, and I was just talking about how just like you said with overthinking things, I overthink
Me too.
thing, and it's just like I don't even know how. Like I've gotten to this point. Like how did I? None of that stuff. It's like
stuff that's never gonna happen.
It'll never happen. Yeah, and then when I circle, when it like comes back full circle, I'm like, how did I even put that in my head? That would literally never happen. But it's just like the what ifs. But sometimes I feel like those are negative thoughts, kind of like our mind trying to protect us, you know what I mean? Like trying to be like, okay, well, just be prepared for this thing, and it's okay to be prepared for something.
Yeah.
But to talk yourself out of something is completely different.
That's like another thing I struggle with is like being like too much of a perfectionist, where I like stifle myself, where I don't let myself do anything because I don't want it to not work out how it is in my head. Like, so that's another thing. It's just do it.
How have you been able to work on that? Like.
Just doing it.
Yeah, just do it. Whatever. Don't even think about it. Just do it. That is really good advice. Don't even like overthink it. If it's an idea that you have, I am big on planning, but don't overthink it. Like you said, don't even get into that realm where you're like, well, what if this happens? What if that happens?
You eventually have to just put it out.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to be perfect.
Yeah, especially if it's something that you're passionate about. Oh, especially if it's something that you're passionate about. I know there are so many people out there that are perfectionists, but if you are aiming to get that perfect thing, you know what I mean? It's not gonna happen. It'll never be good enough. But the thing is that's something that I think is amazing too, because eventually when you do reach that point of success, or you do get to where you're trying to get to, you can look back and see that growth. Growth is important.
Yeah, and it's never gonna happen if you have a perfectionist mind. It's not gonna happen.
Exactly. That is so true. What do you think are some of the struggles that you've had in your creative processes?
Some of the struggles that I've had, I think being too much of having too much criticism towards myself. And I feel like you can't get anything done if you're just beating yourself up about something. You just have to like find the positives in everything.
Absolutely.
And work through those.
Yeah.
That's like one of my biggest
things. Yeah. That is so, the saying they say, like you're your own worst critic. That's so true. Because there are things that will happen and I'm just like, oh my God, they're probably thinking I'm an idiot. And like, they're not even thinking about it. You know what I mean?
Nobody is thinking about that.
Nobody is thinking about it. Exactly, but you. But I feel like that's a lot of times the way that we can talk ourselves out of things too. Yeah, so that's why it's just so important to, if you have that dream, you have that goal, set it and get out there and do it. Get those people in your corner. We constantly say that on this show, but get those people in your corner that want the best for you and do it. That's so important. We got to get back to the topic at hand. I just had to pick your brain for a little bit to see how your creative mind works. So let's see here. I'm trying to think of like, being a woman. There have been, okay, so here's one thing I thought about. Do you think that women, like let's just take acting for instance, or we can take rapping. Because Jay-Z is almost like, how old is he? Like 45, 46? You know what I mean? He's like in his 40s. Do you think that a woman, aside from Beyonce, because she'll be here forever, because she's Beyonce. Yes. But like, do you think that women are viewed differently, like once they've reached like their I don't want to say peak, but like once they've matured? Do you think that once they've gotten to that point, like people are like, well, because like for instance, one thing that I heard, like when Cardi B came out, and I think it was like Saturday Night Live, and she was like, oh, I'm pregnant, and you know what I mean? It's like, there were a lot of people like, oh, go Cardi, but then there were also a lot of people like, she's pregnant, she needs to go sit down somewhere, you know what I mean? And she's like very young, But it's the fact, now granted, a man can't get pregnant right now, but like,
Right now.
it's just the fact that, you know what I mean? Like are you just saying that because she's a woman and now that she's had a child, you're expecting for her to just jump into that role? Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you think that, like, once a Cardi B reaches that age, like that 44, 45 years old, do you think that she'll be told to, like, sit down, or she'll be still...
Yeah, I don't know why you can't be, like, multifaceted as a person, mm-hmm. like, have different faces. Like, you can be more than just, like, a mother. You can also be, like, a sex symbol, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing I have to say I feel like women have done very gracefully within, like, the last decade even, like, just showing those different things. And I think it makes us look even stronger, like, even sexier in a sense, because it's like, I can do all these things and I can still be that too. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like, I don't say like putting men in their place, but kind of, you know what I mean? It's just like, can you do that?
Yeah.
You know, that's something I think about, like, just different things like that, definitely, like, on the regular. Let's get to our comments here. The stallion is now placed in the woman rapper in my seat. I'm tired of it. I think whatever you want to do, try it and fail early. Ooh, trust the process and stay focused. Failing early is key. That has to go. That goes along with what you were saying.
Yeah,
it's like just doing it.
That's another thing, is if you never put yourself out there and fail, you're never gonna learn.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
You can't be scared of the failures. Yeah. Like, you have to learn from those.
And I wish we could, like, equate the word failure with something positive, because a lot of times people, like, I personally, recently I'm trying to change my thought patterns, but like, I would equate failure with, like, oh my God, like, you can't do this, like, negativity, fear, doubt, you know what I mean? Like, should I even be doing this? Worrying, like, it's very negative, when in fact failure is just it's just another attempt that you can make. Okay, I can't do it that way, I need to try it this way, you know what I mean? Like, a failure in a sense is a mistake, you know?
Yeah. Because I always have to, like, remind myself, like, failures are a lesson.
Yes.
At the end of the day, like, you have to take something from them. It's
Oh,
not, like,
yes.
the end of the world if,
not
like,
at all.
you screw up
on
something.
Yeah.
Even in life, like, not just creatively.
And everybody's done it. Like, that's the thing. Like, every failure, every mistake that you've done, somebody has done it. Mm-hmm. That's the other thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I will mess up something and I will beat myself up so bad for it. And then I have to go back to it, or a couple weeks later when it's like, it's brushed off my shoulders, I'm not thinking about it anymore. I'm like, oh my God, girl, are you worried about that?
Yep.
There are so many people that have done that thing. You know what I mean? That's so true. And then trust the process. We hear that. That's another common phrase that people say all the time now, but out of popularity. But it's so true. You have to trust the process. You have to know that you were called to this creative purpose for a reason, and you have to trust the process while you're going through it. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be all sunshine and daisies all the time. But once you've gotten to that point, you're going to be able to look back and say, like, I made it, you know? Like, that to me is just, it's beautiful. That trust the process statement means so much more than what we've seen on T-shirts, you know, recently. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we've got some new people that have joined. Hey, what's up, Isis, Autumn, Alan, Kim? Failing, I believe, is finding unfavorable options when it comes to accomplishing a goal. Ooh, yes, that's good. Trust the process and yourself. Yes. That's so good. Trusting yourself. Oh my gosh. let me tell you this. So now it was 2018, January 20. So my last job, my last job, I traveled, y'all. I traveled all throughout the United States, everywhere and anywhere. And my ultimate goal was I wanted to go to every state. My last state was Alaska.
Oh, yeah.
I was in Alaska January 29th of 2018. When I tell you, like, I was put through so many challenges. Like, I literally saw signs that were like avalanche area, moose up ahead, like negative 33 degrees, first of all. So, like, you had to, like, I was, like, physically uncomfortable. I had to find gas one time, and, like, I only had, like, 20 miles, and, like, you have never heard. Yes, it was insane. But, like, when, like, that trust yourself, like, resonates with me so much, because you just don't know how strong you are until you are put in, like, this mode where you're like, I have to survive. Because it was to the point where, like, I had no cell service. I was running out of gas. It was, like I said, negative 33 degrees outside. And I'm like,
didn't click in my head
oh my
until
God.
just now.
Oh my God. Like, you literally, like, and you can't freak out. I was so calm, and I'm never calm. I'm never calm. Like, it could be the smallest thing, and I'm like, all right, we got to figure this out now. But in that instance, like, trusting yourself, it just came completely into play. And I was just like, all right, I got to figure this out, and I got to figure this out fast. And, like, you just don't realize, like I said, how strong you are until you're put into these situations. Now, that's pretty extreme of an instance, but ultimately I say that to say, like, your dream is just as intense. You know what I mean? Like, your dream is that thing that you want to do so bad that you have got to see it happen, no matter what the circumstances. So whatever you got to do to make it happen, don't do anything crazy. I don't say whatever you got to do, but like, whatever you have to do to make sure that that dream comes into fruition, you have to do it. Whether it's going out there and networking. I see, this is the other thing that I see a lot. People like introverts are cool now. And if I have to label myself anything, I'm definitely like an introverted extrovert, because I like people sometimes, but I also like my time to myself.
Recharge time.
Exactly. And it's just like, even though introverts might be like the in thing now, are you really going to stop the fact that, like, you need to get out there and network? Are you going to allow the fact that you're an introvert to stop you from going out there to do that, if that's going to help you accomplish your dream? You know what I mean? So that's like something I've been thinking about, like, a lot as well. And even especially like us as women, and just kind of bringing that like full circle and bringing it back to us, it's just especially true for us because there are so many different women groups. There are business women groups. There are just so many different groups and avenues that we have out there that we can take now to get out there and network with each other and really build each other up. So yeah, absolutely. Yes. Growth and loss are very important to a creative process and a dream you're chasing. What would you say is, like, have you ever experienced like say you had a dream, I'm like a goal, and like it would just continuously, like, everything just kept going wrong around this goal, but you just kept saying, I've got to make this happen. What did that process even look like for you? Or did you even have, like, did you have one?
A lot of crying. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
That's probably true. Yeah.
Yeah, I think even, like, now with the whole Breakfast and Beats thing, it is, like, that whole thing where I have to, like, learn that there is growth with it. And there's going to be failures and there's going to be losses, and, like, not everyone's going to be about it. Not everyone's going to want to be on board with it. But I also have to be vulnerable. Yes. And I think that's a hard thing.
That's beautiful, though. Vulnerability, I think a lot of people think is
a weakness.
Yes, but exactly. But it's such a strength. It's such a strength to be able to get down to that point of vulnerability and to be able to recognize it. I'm vulnerable right now. You know what I mean? Like, this is that state that I'm in. Like, and to be able to take advantage of that as well. Because again, that goes back to just being able to trust the process. This is a part of that thing. Crying also is, honey, however you have to get it out.
Yeah, I feel like women cry a lot. So that's the thing, is I feel like it's seen as a weakness, but I think it's a good thing to, like, let your emotions out. Yeah. And show them.
Speaking of that, like, do you think that, because people talk about that, see, and this is the thing, like, I don't want to put everybody in this box, but ultimately, overall, statistically, so we would say that women, we are more open with our emotions, right? Yeah. If I'm mad, I'm mad. If I'm crying, if I'm sad, I'm sad. You know what I mean? Like, everything. And men more so are very, like, kind of like more so like reserved. You know what I mean? And it'll come out at a point of anger. Like, it'll like almost be like an explosion. You know what I mean? Like, where did this come from? I almost feel like being a woman, that's just another strength of ours that we can recognize. I'm really upset here. I'm really sad here. You know what I mean? Yeah. Then to have to, because I think about that too, like with men, because that kind of goes back for them, the fact that they have to take on that, like, role of a provider, or, you know what I mean, I got this, I have to be the strong one in this, and I can't really let these emotions out or let these emotions show. So that, to me, I don't know, I don't want to say it sucks to be a guy in that sense, but like, I like to be able to say how I feel every now and then.
But I think there's beauty in that. Yeah. Being able to, like, express ourselves in, like, all range of emotions, and also, like, to, like, set something for men if they want to be able to do that. They can do that too.
Yes, and they have to know that it's okay to do that. Yeah. I can completely understand, though, the feeling of needing to feel safe You know, like, and to know, like, this is, like, a safe place. Like, you can, however you feel, like, let it out. You know what I mean? And that's why I think it is so important for men to have their corner, too. Their people that they talk to, too. And it might not be a cry session. I don't know what that looks like for guys. It could be a yelling match. I don't know. But, you know, it is.
Good.
Yeah, either one. It is so important to be able to have that person or persons to be able to get those feelings out with and to let them know, like, this is exactly how I feel. I agree. Vulnerability definitely is more of a strength than a weakness. Absolutely. Isis says yes. Welcome back, Kel. And welcome, Autry Davis. Kel, we're still waiting for you to answer our question. We need you to let us know how you were able to get it out there. How did you feel the freedom to really let your creative process out and let it show? We need advice. We want it all. Come on. We were talking about female presence in male dominant fields because this is your reality check. I never even did our little intro. Oh, man. We missed it. It's okay. We'll do the outro. It's all right. It's all right.
Do you ever feel vulnerability? Like when you're doing like your new thing? Like, do you ever feel like scared showing people like the whole like fashion thing?
Ooh. Yes and no. I get to a point where, kind of like you said, it's almost like I click the button before I overthink everything. Because I was gonna say, you
feel so like I like feel like a confidence from you in doing it, where you're just like, here it is, guys. Like,
oh, thank you.
Like strong.
Yeah. I told you, like, my morbid story is like, I don't want to be 90 and say I should have done this thing.
Yeah.
When over 90, there's a course of so many things that are going to take place. This is going to be like a small little piece in the scrapbook. You know what I mean? So like I just want to be able to take advantage of every opportunity, every positive opportunity that comes my way and that I want to do it. And like I advise everybody else out there to do the same thing. If it's something that you want to do and it's positive and it's good for you, get out there and do it. You know? And then that's the thing is, like, a lot of people struggle with having people that are going to support them. But that's something like the people will come. Like, for instance, true. Like before I was here, I lived in Philadelphia, and I always wanted to be like, I would always go to the creatives. Like, I would always, like, the people that were naturally around me weren't as creative. They were very structured, very, like 9 to 5, go to work, and then you come home, and then Friday, and then Saturday we'll party, and then you just do it over again. And I'm like, but wait, there's life outside of this thing. So I would constantly, like, go by myself, even safely, but I would go by myself out to the creatives. You know what I mean? Like, I would go out and see what everybody was doing, and I'm like, these people don't care. Like, they are very free, and they found that they love this thing that they're doing. I want to be like that. And so I was like, I'm going to do exactly what I say I want to do. I'm going to do that thing. I'm going to figure out how to do that thing, and I'm going to do it. And it's amazing too, because you and I are both blessed with so many people that are around us in our corner that can do
So
we have so many people. We have rappers, we have singers, we have photographers, we have videographers, we have graphic designers, we have everything that you could ever want to create creative content in our corner. So then when I hear that, I'm like, there's no excuse. If there's an excuse then, and I'm talking to you people out there, if you have everything literally in your corner, there's absolutely, like, no excuse for you to not be able to get out there and do exactly what it is that you want to do. And even those people that don't have them in their corner, there are so many different resources that you can use, even, like, on your phone. Picking up your phone, the different applications that they have.
Yeah, that's, like, so true. You don't need, like, $3,000 equipment. Like,
Not
if you
at
have,
all.
like, a vision,
like,
it's gonna show through.
You'll figure out how to make it happen. You will figure it out. I would say, like, maybe 15, 20 years ago, I would give you that excuse of being like, you know what, I just don't have the money, I can't do it. But today, no.
You gotta do it.
You have to.
And when you do get to that point where you have that, like, nice equipment, it's just gonna be even, like, better.
Oh yes, you'll be able to appreciate it even more. That goes to back, like, what we were saying as far as, like, failures. I feel like failures help you to appreciate that success even more because you were able to go through that.
Exactly.
I hate, now with that, as much as I appreciate failing, I hate it. And I talked about this earlier on an earlier episode as well, learning curves. Like, within my new job now, it's a completely different role than I've ever, like, really done. But there are so many, like, learning curves, and I'm learning something new, like, every day. And as much as I love it and I appreciate it, I get so upset if I mess something up.
Me too. I have to get it right the first time, and if I don't, I get so upset with myself.
So upset.
But that's not how it works.
It's not how, and then the thing is like, I'm way more upset at myself than they're like, what?
Yeah,
what are you even talking about?
Learned it.
Yeah, you just learned this thing 5 minutes ago. You think that I expect for you to be an expert on it? Oh my God, that is something that like. But again, I digress. We come back to that full circle. Aw, hi, babe. Do it, guys. Yay! Support is so difficult. Oh my gosh. It is.
Really? Do you think so?
I feel like.
Actually, yeah.
Do you like? I feel like if I'd had the same circle around me now that I've always had, then I'd be like, this is easy. Mm-hmm. Everybody support. You know what I mean? But because I've seen so many different, I guess, like sides of that, people that don't understand. There are still so many people that don't understand creativity. They don't get it.
Say. Especially when you have a new idea, like people aren't gonna like be on it. Like
as
soon as you put it out, like it takes time for people to like actually see it.
Yep.
What's going on.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes I feel like even like just the generation before us, like our parents, like they have to see it. I need to see that thing. I need to see the fruits of that labor. Mm-hmm. I don't want to, you know what I mean? I don't want to come
hear an idea and
be
like, oh yeah, about it.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, your cute little thing that you want to do. Mm-hmm. What about that job? What about that, you know what I mean? Like the thing that's going to make us some money. What about that? That is absolutely true. The last thing I want to talk about today is like roles. What do you think about like gender roles in a relationship even?
Ooh.
Do you believe in them?
No.
No.
I don't. Like, what do you mean gender roles in a relationship?
Like
what's an example?
As far as like, let's just say like back in the day, the woman is going to be barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. And the man goes out and gets the bacon. Mm-hmm. Now it's a lot different, I feel.
I like that though, because I don't necessarily think it always has to be the woman in the kitchen or whatever.
Absolutely.
Whoever can put in the work.
Yes.
And it has to be like an equal thing in a relationship.
Yes. And that is something that I like, again, I have to say, like, our generation is just made like so beautiful. The fact that like we can both do this thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It never has to be like that. And I remember like even growing up, like my dad always like had that thing where the woman has to be like at home. But then my mom was the one like out like trying to make a business for herself and all that stuff, and he like learned like, okay, like she can do that and then I can also do my thing and we can like work together as a family.
That's beautiful that she taught him that though. Mm-hmm. That he had to see either way, like he was able to come around and see like, okay, all right, she's got it. You know what I mean? Like that's beautiful. That is just so amazing to see. I'm with you. I don't believe in roles either. There's like if he likes to cook more or she likes to cook more, then he's a better cook. Exactly.
Yeah, it just has to be like an equal thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I completely agree with you. I think ultimately, like, what do you think the moral of today's story is?
I think it's important to be vulnerable as an artist, even as a woman. I don't think that women should like put a shell up. I feel like they should just be like open with who they are, and be vulnerable and show people that just their truth. Yeah. That's
beautiful. I completely agree. I would say that yes, vulnerability is beautiful. Trusting the process is also beautiful, and knowing that you're a woman is beautiful. And that's strong. So many different things that we go through on a day-to-day basis make us stronger within our path, and that ultimately help us towards our goal. I would say that's all we got today on female presence in male-dominant fields. My name is Rae.
I'm Rym.
And this was your reality check. Thank you guys for tuning in.